I'm Jeff Davis. This is how I went from working 80 plus hours a week down to 8, and then I sold the entire company. That's with a small staff, with limited resources, and an endless workload. Before you start scrolling down and reading all the stuff that's on this page, just watch this video and pay attention to this, and then scroll down afterwards because I want you to get this. It's really important stuff because I'm about to show you over the next few minutes how to free up 20 to 35 hours per week so you can scale your business faster and you can turn it into a company that you could actually sell down the road or be in a position to if you wanted. Most businesses fail, and even the businesses that aren't failing, they kind of are failing because the owner's working 80 hours a week. So who cares if the business is making money, if you're a slave? There are a very, very, very small handful of businesses where the owner has actually managed to do all three of these things. And the three things are: one, create a business that makes real money. I'm not saying work your face off to just do okay or barely over break even. Number two, get your freedom back. We start a business so we can have more freedom, and then we end up having the least amount of freedom we've ever had in our life. Number three, actually turn around and build a company that you can sell one day. So here's who this is for. This video is for entrepreneurs who want to free up way more time to focus on the bigger, massive impact objectives so you can scale your business to the next level. It's for overworked business owners who want to be able to spend more time doing the things you love. Maybe you just want to have some time back. It's for entrepreneurs who have hit a ceiling and you want to start streamlining and systematizing and automating more things in your business so it becomes less reliant on you and you're able to sell your company. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to transform your business into a machine that can practically run without you, even if that seems impossible to imagine right now. And I'm going to show you how to take back complete control of your time, even if you're unorganized and you feel like you're all over the place. I'm going to show you how to skip decades of trying to figure this stuff out, even if it feels like you're not even close right now. So my promise to you in this video you're watching right now is a step-by-step strategy for freeing up as much as 20 to 35 hours per week and be in a position to sell your business for way more than you think you'd be able to. So let's first see if I've got the right idea of who watches a video like this. Does this sound like you? Number one, do you stress out about all the things that you have to do the next day? Do you work so much that you rarely spend quality time with your husband or wife or your kids? When you want, and it strains relationships. You can feel that it's not as good as it could be, should be. Number three, does your business rely on you so much that you'd never be able to sell it one day? Because let's be honest, without you, your business isn't really worth much or anything. Number four, are you missing out on the important moments of your life because you're too busy and you've got to get work done again? Number five, are all your plans of this better life when things calm down, but then that day rarely or never comes? Number six, are you ever frustrated that you started this business to have more freedom, but you actually have less? Do you ever feel like you've been stuck at the same income level for a while now, and if it does go up, it's just incrementally? If any of that sounds like you, then I have great news that none of those things are the real problem. They're all the symptoms. The real problem is that you aren't doing these 5 things that we're going to cover right now in this video. I have this picture because you see the 2 paths, right? And it's making a shift from one to the other. And once you do them, You control how you spend your time. You're able to be with your family and able to travel. And it feels as if you've cloned 4 more versions of yourself. And feelings of disappointment, feelings of stress and worry start to get more and more replaced with having fun and feeling fulfilled and being happy and feeling grateful. And you'll do all of it while tapping back into the original excitement that you had when you decided to start your business. So really quickly, who I am, I grew a national medical legal trial presentation company from a 500 square foot studio apartment to working over 80 hours a week in that place and getting myself down to 8 and having clients in about 40 states and selling the company. I've been featured in Fortune magazine and CNN Money. I've been quoted by Inc. magazine as Smart Company Builder. I'm the founder of 12 Mavens, the by invitation only inner circle of CEOs of fast growth companies, primarily doing between 5 million to now over 100 million with members across the United States. I'm the founder of a program for entrepreneurs called Operation Time Freedom. And we specialize in helping entrepreneurs streamline, systematize, and automate their businesses so they can scale faster in less time and eventually be able to have a sellable company. I love to travel. That was part of the reason why I wanted to get out of that 80-hour work life and be able to take my wife to Paris and my kids to walk through that water, to have lunch in Tuscany, or be able to wake up to this view in Lake Como, Italy. But it's not about me. This video is all about you and serving you. What places do you want to go to, right? Literally, think of a place. Where do you want to go? Would you like to be in the position to actually take that trip within the next 12 months? There are 5 key steps that you must take to go from working 45 to 80 plus hours a week and stuck at that plateau to freeing up 20 to 35 of those hours to focus on the big impact things of scaling your business faster and being more in control of your time freedom. I'm going to pull back the curtain and walk you through all 5 of these shifts in this video right now. Number 1, you must be unapologetic. Self-sabotage, guilt issues associated with working less than you are, limiting beliefs about being able to do it. All of that stuff comes from subconscious self-worth issues, right? It's a feeling of worthiness. And that is at the core of what's blocking you. And so you must mind shift. You must learn how to mind shift, because without that, all the other things are blocked. So you have to be unapologetically selfish about how you want things to be in your business and in your life. You have to resolve to live life on your terms, not other people's or other businesses. Your beliefs about the things that you thought you had to do are all BS. And that is what limits you. And if you get this wrong, you'll get stuck. And the more entrenched you get, the harder it's going to be to step outside of that business operator role and to be able to transform into a business owner, from business operator to business owner. And a big aha moment for me in my life was when I realized that there is a transformation from being a business operator to being the founder or being the owner. And I remember going to lunch with a friend of mine who's an amazing entrepreneur who grew his business from 3 people to last year did 460 million in sales. And telling me that he ran into a guy that he knows who had built a company that's even bigger, and he handed him his business card, mentioned how he's not even almost, pretty much completely detached from the day-to-day, and his card just said founder. Didn't say CEO, didn't say owner operator, it said founder, right? That's an aha moment. That's cool, right? To be able to just say you're just the founder and you've got all the people doing all this stuff. Number 2, Either put a stake in the ground or get a stake in your heart. Stake in the ground or stake in your heart. What I mean is put your stake in the ground that today, that right now, the moment you watch this video on this website that you're not even sure how you landed on with some guy, that this is the exact moment that you decide to pivot to a new path. Not someday, or I've got to figure this out someday. So right now, put a stake in the ground and add specificity. So here's an example. I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen. This isn't a dabbler's thing. This is not gonna do it for you if you just kind of sit there and watch free webinars all day, right? I want you to actually get value out of this. So, play along with this. Get out a piece of paper or get something you can type into on your phone or on your laptop right now. And I want you to write this down. What is your monthly income goal? Something you want to get to. I don't know you. I don't know what you aspire to or how much time you're going to give yourself, how much runway to get there. But what is it for you? 30,000 a month you want to make? 50,000 a month you want to make? What is it? What is your monthly income goal? Write that number down. Okay. What's a specific date that you want to get to that number by? Not 6 months from now, not a year from now, not 3 years from now, because that becomes a treadmill. If you tell me 3 years from now and I see you in a year and a half, you'll probably still be saying 3 years from now. What's a specific date that you want to be making that much money per month? Write that down now. What's a weekly hours worked goal? Meaning, say it's a year from now or a few years, 3 years from today. How many hours do you want to be working? If you're working 80 hours a week and you want to be able to work half days on Friday, how many hours is that? Is that, 36 hours? Do you want to work 20? Do you want to work 8? Write that number down. Let's be specific and let's put our stake in the ground. What's a specific date to get to that amount of hours by? All right, you just said you want to be working this many hours a week. Now you're very clear. You have clarity about it. When is that going to happen by? So we're going to give ourselves a finite amount of time that's going to get less and less each day that goes by to get there. What's something specific that you're going to do when you get there? All right, it's that date you're making that amount of money every month and you can't believe it. Life is amazing. What's something specific that you're going to do when you get there? Where do you want to go? You want to take your family to Paris, or you want to take your wife or husband to Hawaii and climb somewhere? What is it for you? What's something specific that you're going to do when you get there? Right? Where will you go specifically? What time of year will you do it? Are you going to go in the fall? Do you want to be able to take the people that you take on this amazing trip? Do you want to be able to fly everybody first class instead of cattle call? Be specific, right? Because the business owners who actually pull this kind of life off, they do it because they don't put things off for someday later on. They take action. They actually do. They execute. They put in the work. And they do a lot more than just watch one little video about it or read a book on it. Number 3, the secret weapon for having time freedom. And the secret weapon for having time freedom really is something that I call self-operating systemization. Self-operating systemization. And self-operating systemization is the most powerful way to architect and design a business that gives you freedom, the ability to scale, and the ability to be able to sell your company. The smart entrepreneur sees a business like a fork in that it's a tool that helps you get what you want. The foolish entrepreneur becomes stuck as part of the fork itself. Do you see the difference there? I hate that I put my own put my own name there. It's kind of like allow myself to quote myself here. But let's take a look at your org chart. This is you right at the top. And let's look at the different other areas. And it's you that does this, and it's you that does this, and it's you that does this. Let's look at another division of your business. There's sales, there's marketing, there's the HR, there's the finance, there's you, and then you do these tasks, and then there's you in this area, and you this, and you, and you, and you. Doesn't that seem crazy to you? Do things today in a way that sets you up to never have to do them again. Self-operating systemization is intentionally creating new systems in your business that don't require you. How are you going to feel when you have systems in place, getting things done that don't even involve you at all? Everything that you've learned your entire life about how work is supposed to be isn't even true anymore. It's the old way of thinking about business. So you need to retrain your business to the new way of working. So here's the old way versus the new way. The old school way of thinking about owning a business is, I've got to be the first one in and I got to be the last one out every day. The new way is you're in whenever the hell you want to be in because you were the one that took the risk in owning the business. Old way of thinking, your hours on the clock equal the amount of your income. The less you're involved, the more money you're going to make. Trust me, I know some super rich people and they don't work proportionally that many more hours than you. They actually work less. You're the most important person in your organization. Yay, look at you and how significant you are. Wrong. You're the least important person in your organization. Old school, nobody does it like you. You're such a hero. New school, everybody does it but you. Is this starting to make sense to you? I was the worst at this. Trust me, all of these things that I'm sharing with you, I feel compelled to share with you because of all the suffering that I did for years until I figured things out and I step by step started to figure things out and created these processes, and I followed these processes like a recipe book to finally crack the code and go from working 80 plus hours a week, working every night, every weekend, to working a 40-hour work week, to working 32, to eventually only going in and working 1 day a week. When I sold my company, I was literally only showing up once a week. And so here's a breakdown of the system that I followed and that changed my life. The first part is uncovering all the waste and knowing how to identify what's real and what's waste and eliminating the right things, or I should say eliminating the wrong things for good. Next is installing lifelong time management habits. Right? You can get motivated to be better at your time. And then what happens is you do it for a little while, right? And then you slowly fizzle back to the way you've always done it. So it's knowing at first it's knowing the right time management tools and techniques. And then it's how do you properly install them in yourself that they become habitual. Next is getting the tools and the training that create a more organized life, really putting focus on getting more organized, because entrepreneurs, we can be ADD and have great ideas and then say, crap, where did I put that great idea? Next, setting more and more tasks on autopilot, realizing certain things that you don't think could be automated and how they actually could. And then step-by-step business processes and systems. This is where, figuring out what kinds of systems and how to design the systems, how to implement the systems, how to maintain the systems and implement and all that stuff. And that's it. If you need some more motivation, think about it this way. If you freed up an additional 20 to 35 hours per week, every week, and you could spend that time working on the bigger, massive impact opportunities, how much more money are you going to be able to make over the next 12 months? Not 12 years. If you freed up a ton of time to focus on the things you know would make the biggest impact, but you're too busy to ever get to really do, how much more money will you make over the next 12 months? What about take that number, multiply that by 10, multiply that by 20. How much more money is that? How much happier will you be? How much happier will your family be, not just from the money, from having more of you around? That's how I was able to sell my company for an amount that literally made me cry tears of joy, because a buyer could see that they could come in and it wasn't all me doing everything. The best bit of advice I think I can give to any manager of a company is find somebody better than yourself to do the day-to-day running, and then free yourself up to think about the bigger picture. By freeing myself up, I've been able to dream big and move Virgin forward into lots of different areas. And it's made for a fascinating life. That's from Richard Branson, the multi-billionaire and founder of Virgin, who, by the way, has an amazing life. And he does that while owning over 500 companies. And so if you have just one company and you don't have time to do all these incredible things, and he's got 500 companies and able to do all these things, then obviously something is broken. So quick recap. At this point, you know to stop feeling guilty about where you're heading next. You're putting a stake in the ground today with specificity and declaring your new direction. You're using specificity and learning the importance of self-operating systemization to command the kind of business that you deserve, not hoping for it like you're weak. Now let's look at how to really leverage your time and scale your business without doing it all yourself and without burning out or settling for where you're at currently. Number 4, busy is the enemy of productive. If you're working more hours than you want, and you're not making the income that you want, the kind of work you're doing is grossly inefficient. It's not the amount of hours that matters, it's the things that are happening during those hours. It's quality of the hours over quantity of long hours. If you get this wrong, you only fool yourself into feeling like you're making progress because you're working so hard. But the reality is you're doing the wrong things. Overwhelming evidence that busy does not directly translate to productive either. So The Economist did extensive research and got proof that you should get a life. Fast Company has the 3 biggest differences between being busy and being productive. Harvard Business Review research, the research is clear. Long hours backfire for people and for companies. Number 5, leverage hindsight from a proven model. Leverage hindsight from a proven model, which is this missing piece right here. So, the things that you're trying to figure out, they've already been figured out by other people. So instead of wasting time and all this lost income trying to reinvent this method that's already been figured out by other people, just get the recipe, right? That's this piece right here. So what I'm talking about is leveraging other people's experience. Don't try to do this on your own. You need to get each piece of the puzzle right, and you also need to get them in the right order. If you get this wrong, You could find yourself working even more hours and wasting even more money and becoming even more stressed than you are now. So model someone who is already getting the results you want. If you want to accelerate the tempo of mastery, find somebody that's already getting the result, figure out how they do it, and then do the same thing. But how do you know who's good and who to model? I'll give you 3 ways to do that right here. Number 1, they've actually gone from overworked to owning a streamlined, automated, and systematized business themselves. You have a lot of business owners that are working their ass off as well, trying to give you advice when they're in the same situation, or you're getting advice from people that have never even owned their own business. Number 2, they have a replicable step-by-step system for getting those results. I know lots and lots of entrepreneurs, and I've picked the brains of hundreds of entrepreneurs and asked questions and read hundreds of books. But great entrepreneurs can make terrible teachers. I've asked really successful entrepreneurs for advice, and it's almost like they don't even know how they did it because it's unconscious competence to them. It just comes so natural, they don't have an ability to communicate it in a formulaic, replicable way. Number 3, they're willing to give you support along the way, right? So some people make the mistake of buying the cheapest course online that they're never going to talk to anybody, and it's kind of super generic cookie cutter, and they're kind of lost. So if you want to do any of this stuff, you need to find a mentor to model who meets all 3 of those standards and do whatever it takes to learn from them. And let me give you another warning. I've spent over 15 years now, figuring this stuff out. And I've made every mistake there is to make. I've turned things that were bad into worse situations. I've wasted 6 figures in, I'll be generous and call it experimenting, right? I've burned through 6 figures in doing this stuff the wrong way because I didn't know exactly what to do. I've done everything wrong trying to figure all this stuff out. And everything we've talked about, from getting the right mindset for this kind of stuff, to becoming more productive, to automating tasks, to properly creating the systems, has to be done the right way. The entrepreneurs that I help free up 20 to 35 hours each week, they're smart people, and they didn't do it alone. So if in this image, if this on the left is overwork and overwhelm and working tons of hours, and this is freedom in your life, enjoying the freedom that you want in this one life, then this thing here, this in the middle, is everything. This bridge that gets you there is everything. So what do you need to cross over that bridge? 1, be unapologetic about getting what you deserve. 2, put a stake in the ground. Commit to getting what you want specifically right now, not procrastinating on something again. Procrastination is the devil. Number 3, create self-operating systems and processes. Number 4, replace all this busy time with highly productive impact. Number 5, leverage hindsight. Acquire a battle-tested and proven way of doing this from someone who's already done it. So what you need to cross over to that gap, taking your business through a transformation like this on your own, is like trying to jump over a humongous gap with a minefield below, when you could have just shifted your path to the bridge that already exists around the corner. And so now you have a choice. You can keep spinning your wheels for less than you deserve, or you can change everything. So I have a question for you. Again, how much money per month buys you enough freedom to have you dancing around the house where you can look in the mirror and you know you're the man or you are a badass woman. What dollar amount does that for you? And let's say you could take a pill, just hypothetically, that clones 4 more versions of you, and you're getting 4 times as much done, and you're working the kind of hours you're wanting, and you're earning that dollar amount per month, and you're living a life with true freedom. How much would that life-changing pill be worth? Would it be worth tens of thousands for you? Would it be worth hundreds of thousands for you? Would it be worth millions of dollars for you? So whatever your biggest challenges are, I've seen them and I know how to overcome them. If you don't know the right way to streamline, systematize, and automate your business, you're never going to earn what you want and you'll keep working so many hours. And instead of selling your business for whatever dollar amount you could have, you'll end up just closing it down like 96% of businesses do, or even more. And one day you end up getting the big fat 0 because you just shut it down. That's why you're watching this, to work with an expert at this. Isn't it true? I'm 100% confident if that's what we're talking about, I can solve those problems for you. I say that because I created an 8-week program that gets entrepreneurs 10, 20, 35, or even more hours freed up every week. And the program is specifically designed for people like you to get your business working for you instead of just being a slave to a job that you gave yourself. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. How much more is your business going to grow when you start replacing time spent on all the BS minutia busy work with working on your biggest impact objectives that you know make you 10 times more likely to be able to earn what you're wanting. But you know you'd never be able to get to the way things are, or you already would have. I'm going to show you how to do that. And everything you need will be outlined step by step over these next 8 weeks. Not 8 months or 8 years from now, but by just 8 weeks from right now. And you'll have 8 modules that you can go back and watch over and over again for as long as you're an entrepreneur. Whatever businesses you might start down the road, you can go back and refer to this to tighten up whenever you need it. And heck, if your kids can use this before they start a business one day, if you can prevent them from going through all the hell that you've been through, it's a no-brainer, right? So who is this for? Because this is not for everyone. Number one, you must own your business and are the one making the decisions in it. Because if you don't have the authority to implement all this stuff that you're going to learn, what's the point? Number two, you must be an action taker who follows directions. That means that you're coachable, you show up decisive, and you're resourceful. Coachable meaning you're open to learning new ways of thinking about things and trying out new tools. Decisive meaning you're really committed to making the dollar amount you've declared per month and streamlining your business and your life and not allowing procrastination to keep derailing and delaying you. And based on that decision, the solutions can then present themselves. And last, resourceful, meaning most of the entrepreneurs that come to me about this kind of stuff, they're all tight on funds and they're all in a crappy cash position because their way isn't working. So they come to me with, barely $1 to spare, because they need to get better at all this stuff. So since they have limited resources, these entrepreneurs really have to be resourceful to find a way to be able to get the help that changes your life because they quote unquote can't afford it. And when we, meaning us as entrepreneurs, are genuinely committed to something, we always find a way. If the opportunity to make more money is there, if the potential to structure your business so you're able to spend more time with your family and be able to scale faster and be able to sell your business is there, and if all those things are true and you still won't even give something like this a try, look, don't do it, okay? Just go back to whatever you're doing. If you're just too busy right now to do something like this, you're always too busy. That's why you're watching this, because of always being too busy. The reality is there will never be a little bit better time to do this for yourself. The full 8-week program, I originally offered it at $7K. And what I would do is I started rewarding action takers who were on a live call with me to reward them for taking action and just doing it. I took $2K off, and the opportunity for them to enroll in the full 8-week program was only $5K. And the original 8-week program included optional live group calls. But by the time everyone watched all the videos and they did all the exercises, most people, as much as it might have dinged my ego, most people didn't even need the calls. And that's why you benefit from this right now and from that experience, because I'm doing an experiment right now. And I'm temporarily testing out removing the live group calls, and I am personally responding to any questions by email. So therefore, I am making the program much more affordable for everybody. Plus, I get to help with bringing down the amount to go through a program like this. I get to help and impact more entrepreneurs in their families' lives, which is pretty much what wakes me up every morning. And so for everyone that enrolls in the full 8-week program, while I'm temporarily doing this experiment of taking out the group calls, this isn't going to be the regular $7K to go through it, or even the discounted $5K. The lifetime membership and instant access into all weeks of training and access to me directly is being discounted as an experiment to just the one payment of only $997. Or if you really, really need to break it up, we're going to do 2 installments of only $550. And you get to begin to change your business and change your life forever. So that being said, click on one of the yellow or whatever color these buttons are. Click on the button now. God almighty, I can't stress it enough. Click the button and let's do this.